Hey everybody, this is Way to Fail with more Kerbal Space Program First Contract. And if you missed the live stream footage, let me just catch you up on where we kind of left off before here. First off, here is the tech tree. I've actually gone and done some more sciencing, specifically around Minmus, first off, so I got plenty of science there. Although I didn't get stuff from a whole bunch of different areas. Apparently, compared to the first time when I flew on Minmus a while ago, in career mode, they've added biomes to Minmus. I'm looking forward to the day where they add official biomes to the other heavenly bodies as well. But I also did a rescue mission as well around Kerbal, which means my next science target, and I did this one off camera a little bit, is to actually land on the moon. And actually did the moon flyby mission before going to Minmus. So that's going to be part of the goal that I have today, but I also just want to go into a little bit the kind of active missions that I have right now. As you can see, I have the Explore Minmus mission done, and that actually was one that was just assigned to me over live stream. So you can see that opens up a lot of doors. Excuse me. I have the plant flag on the moon, which I have 9 years to do it, but we're going to do it today. Hopefully. Maybe I won't. And then I have a lot of test missions, test subjects, and those are things that I am going to be doing in probably the next episode, actually. And there's some interesting test ones, especially the test the small gear bay on Minmus, which actually has you use a context-sensitive menu to run the test for the gear bay. So, well, I imagine it's probably like a landing gear, but it doesn't actually have to be used to land. The other thing that really blows my mind just a little bit is exploring Ike, Eve, and Duna are all things that I can actually do now. And while in my last save I did actually try and go to Duna, but I only could land on Ike. I actually have made it to Duna plenty of times in the past. I have older videos of that. But Eve is a place that I actually kind of want to go to because I've never actually gone there before other than crashing one of my old satellites into it just to see what would happen. And it's kind of akin to dropping into Joule. So we'll get that. But today we are doing a moon mission. Or let's see here. Today we're doing a moon mission on a budget. And what we're going to do is essentially start off with the last ship that we had here. This is the Minmus flyer. This is the one that I took to Minmus. And yeah, it has the science that I need. And I did get a good tip from a YouTube user whose name escapes me for a second, unfortunately. If I flip this around, well, let me get the right button to actually flip this upside down here. If I flip it like that, the decoupler will actually stay on the bottom. If you watch the live stream, you see that I lost the materials bay here, specifically because I crash landed in the water. So this could have broken the fall and I could have spared the science. Probably wouldn't have been as lucky. But another nice thing about going to Minmus, maybe the most important thing about going to Minmus, is that now I can build a rocket like this, use the same thing, because the moon's gravity will not let me climb up here on my own. Now I may be able to use the RCS pack to do it, but why do that when now I have a ladder? I love that ladders in this game are so far up the tech tree. So let's see, I can actually put the ladder right here. It'll be okay. Let's actually extend the ladder just so I can see where it is. I love that they let you do that now in the box here. But once again, I do have a blue option for the equipment. That is to, it's going to be hard to see. Is that actually aligned? I don't think it is. Ugh. Yeah, this is going to be not totally nightmarish, but a little tough. There we go. Does that put us all the way down? Because this is the only part that's going to actually be landing on the moon. Close enough. Close enough. I can jump up from there more than likely. Yeah. Should be good. But yeah, the blue part on the left actually means that you can use this as a, on an experimental basis, and this is one that I want to use on Minmus here. This is not unlocked in my tech tree yet, so that's pretty nice. I have a few other things that are not locked yet, but we're going to focus on that a little bit more next episode instead of this one. For now, let's see here. I do have my transmission signal. I thought I had 2 battery packs. Apparently I only slapped 1 on here. That's unfortunate. Question is, do I want to go up my budget and actually increase my power supply? No real reason to. I mean, I have enough solar panels to make this work. I'm not asking my ship to hog a bunch of science off, but should probably be OCD about this and just get everything balanced correctly. Alright, so here we go. And by the way, if I do have to interrupt myself because of things that happen on a monitor and everything, just from listening in, just please understand. I'll try and edit as best I can here. Also got a thermometer and a barometer here. Pretty sure I won't be able to use the barometer specifically because the moon has no atmosphere, but I'm going to slap it on here anyway, because I feel like I may be using this design again in the future. Let's hear if I'm going to be returning the science. I'm pretty sure it's the stuff I can just broadcast, but I'm going to slap it back here. So we do have a ComSat, which is not aligned over the middle. Boo. Oh, don't want that over the door either. Alright. Sorry, shipbuilding fun. But yeah, this is a ship that's based off of a rescue mission I had before, so funny how that works out. It's kind of like the real-life thing of necessity leads to an experimentation leads to something else. Experimentation leads to other things. Kind of like war, maybe, maybe not. But yeah, this is going to be a ship that goes to the moon. I had more than enough Delta V for Minmus. I should have enough Delta V with this. I'm not loading these in the flight engineer just to see, but because Jebediah's flown practically every mission so far, I want to take Bob. I haven't actually flown Bob anywhere yet. I'd love to take more than one person onto the moon, but one should do. So I don't think there's any parts that I'm really missing here. Oh, excuse me. Although I feel like I should probably save this subassembly perhaps. Whoa! Alright, so after accidentally deleting my subassembly, which I got that fixed this time, calling it Kerbal landers, which cost about 30,000 to throw up in the air, I do have a ship ready, the Mooner Flyer, with should be Bob Kerman in here, except that they did change the bug, so anytime, or they didn't change the bug or feature, so anytime you edit the ship, it drops your Jeb back in there automatically. We want Bob to go to the moon. And let's see, I'm not exactly sure if I flipped that appropriately, but we'll be okay. The only really significant changes from my Minmus lander are that they're actually extendable ladders now, as I waxed on before. And also I'm trying something a little bit different because the moon has a little bit more gravity, and I don't want as tall of a ship because it has a tendency to teeter over, not to mention the whole being able to climb and get in and get out. I actually have two different stages here for my exit here. I have one LV909 here, and it has one fuel tank, and then once that's expired, I'm going to go to the other LV909. This one should be able to finish the orbit by itself or pretty close. This one should be able to take the rest of the way, and then I'll detach and send everything home, and hopefully not get myself killed. Hopefully. We'll see though. So, Bob, time to fly dangerously. Or maybe not totally dangerously. We'll see, there's Bob looking ever so happy, I guess. We have the moon, which is currently right there. And we are going to just go ahead and zoom out here because we did get to Minmus. We've already planted putting the flag there. The moon's a little bit harder to land on because it has higher gravity and it's really unfair. And the terrain, while Minmus has steeper slopes, it also has some very flat plains. So we do have a few contracts here. We're not going to be doing any of the parts ones. We are just going to be doing the moon one, which are plant a flag on the moon. And then we have one left on the explore the moon, which is land on the moon and transmit from the surface. So that's what we want to do here. So let's go ahead and get this flight maybe started. Okay, that'll do. Solid boosters activate. And there's our ship Shadow flying ever so high into the air. You can't turn off the solid boosters once they're on. And this ship may rotate a little bit. At least it has for me before once we get into about 3,000, 4,000 meters. So we'll still want to do our normal gravity turn. We don't have to worry too much about the plane here because the moon's on the same orbital plane as Kerbal, which means that it is going to... You do get eclipses all the time. Minmus I was actually able to hit at the 90 degree, or at the perfect actual plane, so I didn't have to do a plane transfer as well. Did not plan that, but it worked out pretty well. So it's your solids are about to go, everything remaining surprisingly stable. So let's go ahead and get to our second transfer, starting now, and turn, and accelerate. This is how you get into orbit. In case you have not done it before, I did oversteer that just a little bit, but it doesn't have to be a perfect 90-degree descent. I just prefer to do that for consistency's sake. So far, Bob doing pretty good. And we are on a good 90% plane. These rockets have thrust vectoring, which is nice. More importantly, they give a lot more oomph than the LV-909. Now, I'm not exactly sure if the fuel's going to transfer through this decoupler. I'm pretty sure it won't. If I did have to do a manual fuel transfer, I could, okay. But the way my launches were going before was that just before having to do the big burn to get into orbit, I would have just barely any fuel left. So I'd have like a gigantic burn to do with this like 3 minutes. I wouldn't know that because the maneuver markers, as if you're aware of this game, would show the old engine thrust output, which says you only need to burn for like 45 seconds. No, you don't. You need to burn a lot longer. But with the extra weight of this and the extra fun of having the additional engine there, shouldn't be too much of an issue. So we are flying. We are burning fuel at a rapid pace. Should be getting up there pretty soon. Still at a good 90 degree. This is like textbook. So we're getting into the upper atmosphere now. This is going to push really quickly. May actually have to switch engines here before long, which will be nice. It's kind of what I'm anticipating. If I can get to 100,000, that'd be awesome. But okay, right at 100,000, barely any fuel left. So let's just go ahead and burn off the rest of it here. There we go. And we'll just stage. All right, so 2 minutes left. Add maneuver. Let's get to 100,000 orbit here. Same as always. Would love to be able to see what the periaps looks like on the other side, but there we go. 90. Got a little bit of burn going because we haven't seen our engine yet. We're going to need really 3 minutes. Really, we're going to need to start burning practically now. I don't know about that. So I don't want to burn too far back towards the surface here, but I'm going to follow the maneuver node just a little bit. And if there's not a perfect orbit, okay, that's fine. Because we are at least burning in space. I don't like burning too far below the horizon if I don't have to. But because of the way this rocket's set up here, we're going to just have to push as best we can. There we go, that's more like it. Okay, so we can wait. Oh, no, not really. We gotta burn now. Alright, so there we go. Just not the burn we need, but the burn we deserve here. Because you want to start your burn around halfway to where the apoapsis is. So we're going to be knocking this up just a little bit. But that's how it goes. We don't need a perfect orbit. In fact, with the moon coming right over the horizon, you know, I could just probably burn straight to the moon right here. Let's see. We just keep burning. We get an encounter. There we go. Old tip from back in the day for Kerbal space program, you can just burn straight at the moon. Now it does put us in a retrograde marker here, and that's a lot of delta V that I don't need to be spending. But still, it's nice that you can actually get a moon encounter here. So we're not actually going to do that, but it's nice to know that it's possible, except that now I've screwed this up just a little bit. So we are burning fuel off of this tank. And I don't really need the maneuver marker anymore, but we'll add it anyway. Because we still should get some of this burn remaining. There's not a great way to reset it, so there we go. So about 135-ish, I don't know. We're still on track for the burn here. So if I'd started my burn just a little bit earlier, I actually was on track to I could have launched straight to the moon, which is pretty cool when you think about it. I gotta get back on the marker here. Still perfect plane, perfect alignment. Still have not edited the skybox back to what it is. And we are doing good on this. We're going to be able to switch to the other transfer stage very shortly here. So this is being a very fuel efficient vessel so far. And because we're ditching this weight, I didn't add parachutes to make it extra recoverable because it is going to kind of disappear from the ship regardless. But less weight means easier for that LV-909 to push it around. So overall, good. The R&D system is working pretty well, so we're just starting to get up here. We're now in an orbital trajectory. I don't know where my ship is, so I have to eyeball this just a little bit. Okay, so where are we? There we are. Stage. Alright, and sufficient orbit. There we go. Don't need that anymore. So perfect. Here's our lunar lander. There's the sun. So we have some other things that are actually going to come, some debris that are eventually going to come crashing down. Now to fly to the moon, you want to be at about a 3 o'clock trajectory here. Start your maneuver like so, and boop. See, this is way more fuel efficient. While technically I can fly straight on from the orbit, I didn't do a great job of getting there, so I actually feel like I'm not doing this quite right. 800 is pretty close. Let's see. Okay, if we do like this, how close are we? 300. No, we want to go a little bit closer. 200. Yeah, that's good. There's a little bit more delta V budget. 40,000 is the kind of orbit that we want. So it's here. No real science to do here. Although we will just get a crew report and ditch it because we can. Now I can transmit all kinds of datas because I do have that this time, but my goal is to get on the surface of the moon. And there's the moon. I'm going to F5 only for safety reasons, because we don't want to have an embarrassing crash right at this stage when we just started. So I do need about another 2-minute burn. Let's go ahead and get around the planet here. Whee! For those of you who have not seen it before, that's what orbiting the world looks like here. Is we're actually going to be passing by some of our other debris that are now crashing into the surface. And I can't accelerate much more than this, but 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10. Once again, we don't want to burn under the horizon too badly. It gets really fuel inefficient if you do it that way. Oop. And right now you can see the ship is currently asking us to burn under the horizon. We're going to be burning at about a minute mark here, but let's hear it. Yeah. We're not burning too badly under the horizon though. About another minute or two. Yeah, we're going to be okay. I can even start my burn just a little bit later, but that's not going to be necessary. Said if we had some more powerful rockets, I could make these burns a little bit more efficiently, but alright, so when do we want to do this? So if we're at 55, I can probably do it get away with like 1 minute or so. There we go. Good enough. And we are flying to the moon. It should be coming over the horizon any second now. Yeah. And this is how you do it in the old style before maneuver nodes. It's just you get in a 90-degree orbit, counterclockwise or normal or whatever you want to call it here. And as soon as you see the moon pop over that horizon, you just fly. That's kind of the idea here. I'm still doing pretty good on fuel. I'm going to try and conserve my delta V as much as possible, because I've never actually tested this vessel on a beast like the moon, so I don't know for sure if that's going to be a thing that I can do. Let's hear moon over the horizon any second. Now I want to actually catch it, because the last few times I've tried to make a video like this, I've actually missed the moon popping over here, and of course it's probably going to... There it is. Hello, moon. We like you because you are close to us. We're about to get a lot closer. Once again, this is not my space agency's first trip to the moon. I did have one previous mission of just orbiting the moon and sending science. That's where it goes back to exploring the moon. And it's funny because I got Explore the Moon as a set of missions, but did not get the actual Land on the Moon, Plant the Flag mission. That came later. So I assume these missions are assigned to you based on prestige or your reputation rating. So I guess once I had been around the moon, they're like, well, yeah, you might as well plant a flag while you're there. My goal was to do it the first time, but I had a insufficient ship. Let's put it that way. So 50, 40, we're going to cut throttle here in just a moment. As soon as we get an encounter, pretty much to fine-tune this. There we go. Okay, so 8, 7, 6, 4, 3, 2, 1. Because you don't need the maneuver nodes after a while here. So 70, 50, 40. Let's do 30. Good. By the book. Once again, plenty of fuel left. Shedding that weight helps quite a bit. If we look at our ship stats, actually. Bob, who's in the pilot seat, doing pretty good, not stupid, which is nice. And my ship is only 5.75 tons, which for my builds is pretty small. But one thing that I always like is like, you know what, dude, you have just escaped the gravitational pull. Well, not totally escaped the gravitational pull of carbon, but you've gotten away from it, and now you're going this way. So let's save one more time. Just trying to do safety saves here because I don't want to run into crashes or random weird things that I don't expect to happen. So I do have about as much science as I can get from high above Kerbin's atmosphere. And I do have plenty of above orbital science for the moon. But from the looks of this, I'm actually coming pretty close to the equator here. That's also pretty unusual for me. So that's nice. But yeah, not too many missions so far. Ike is looming in the distance. So is Tylo and Lathe. Anything else I can see from this? Not really, but there's the moon inching ever closer. And yeah, it's interesting to think that due to the scale of this game, it's like only a few hours just to fly. Whereas if this were like on an actual Earth-like scale, it'd be a few days to get out there. Think about that. I know there's plenty of people that have actually been in submarines, and I don't have that experience. I've been on naval boats a few times, but not the same thing as just you are in a tin can and that's it. You cannot go outside. You cannot do anything. So let's see here. We are getting... Whoa, let's not accelerate past the moon. Alright, so we are pointing at it. First step is to get into orbit. Once again, something that we have done before, but should not take too much delta V, although I'm making a pretty close pass. I want to actually land on the day side, so this is a really nice approach. So let's... How much do we got to slow down here? We're going to keep it kind of elliptical, because I don't need to make a very short orbit here. I'll spend about 100 delta V. So get about 1 million out. Well, if I do... Let's see here. See, I don't know the math as well, and I'm sure someone who's doing comments in the comment section that can tell me a little bit more. If it's more efficient to burn my delta V here now or later. I don't know. I feel like maybe 1 million's too far out. So we'll do this. I'm going to have to burn... I'm going to have to get rid of it eventually anyway. So we'll do 150. Which means we just need to set our course on the maneuver node, which is going to be a retrograde pretty much. We should be on it already. Once again, pretty nice that my angles are pretty light, pretty slight. So here we go. Let's get close to that. And once I get pretty close, I will let Bob do some EVA work, which is the main reason I quick save here. Hello, Moon. You are accelerating very quickly. So let's see here. Let's take a crew report first, because I may be able to send that back out for more science. Yes, let's transmit the data. High space over the moon. Actually, didn't get that last time. Interesting. Alright, so that means Bob can probably EVA. I feel like my ship's tilting. So we'll keep the data. Nothing new here. Somehow I didn't transmit that before, though, but I do have solar panels now, so that's a good thing. Alright, now I'm keeping my burn pretty close here. So if we get low over the surface, which takes quite a bit of doing here. Alright, getting a little bit of lag too. Okay, so now we're low over the surface. Burn's coming up soon. Once again, I'm very paranoid for my EVAs, especially in new patches. So let's see here. So this is still space high over the moon. Whoa. Okay. I just want to be clear here. I think I already have this mystery goo. Let's reset. And I'm going to save the materials bay for the surface. So let's go ahead and get our burn in. Actually, before we do that, let's actually get on the marker like we want to. So it's here. It's going to be about the 29-second mark. So we're cutting it pretty close here. In fact, I still may be able to do another EVA report from pretty close down here. Crew report. Space near the moon. Just trying to get these things just to see if I can get them. Yes, there we go. Keep data, get back on board. That's what I wanted. Alright, so now that we're here, it is time to see if Bob can actually earn his keep. Now, this is not a ship that's designed to go around and hop different places on the moon, although I'll probably have sufficient fuel to do that. Let's get that acceleration now. Don't need a perfect orbit. Just need enough one. The bulk of our fuel is going to be about 600 delta V for actually landing here. So this is preemptory slowing down because I feel like this is going to be more efficient because it's at the periapsis. I could be totally wrong. In fact, I probably am totally wrong. But we did it anyway, so damage done. 5.52 tons, so still pretty good. Still got some fuel here, primarily going to be going on one fuel tank from here. So let's actually see if we can go around and maybe get to another biome. I don't know if that's happening. Crew report. Yeah, it's just space near the moon. Interesting. I guess you got to be on the surface to actually do the biome stuff now, perhaps. Or maybe we can get a different EVA. Please don't leave me, Bob. There we go. Over the moon's highlands. Yeah. So same thing as before. And you know, I guess I can go ahead and transmit that just because I have it. It's not going to be any degrade. Let's discard data. So we'll get... I have plenty of electric charge. My extra batteries. Anything else? Because if not, I think this is mostly highlands. I don't think I'm going to be able to get anything over the crater there. I'm probably too high up. So just trying to get this now while we can. Yeah, high space over the moon. Nothing. So that means now we just got to do a dayside landing. All that involves is this. I think landing in the big crater there is going to be pretty nice. Though there's some flatter areas up here. I can kind of aim for some of these. I don't really like that. I kind of prefer this area right here. That would be a really nice area to land, actually. But yeah, the craters tend to be a little flatter underneath, where some of these ridges can be a little bit deceptive. Of course, you don't want to land on one of the ridges of the craters, and right now I'm landing in a double crater. So that's fun. So that's another 50 delta V just to make that move. So we're going to get to that one here in just a moment. 45 minutes. Bob brought plenty of snacks, I hope. So look at this. I'm going to maybe have a moon landing. Don't know for sure. Well, okay, we're going to have a moon landing. Question is, are we going to have a moon return? There's Kerbal just floating in the distance. Love those kind of images. That kind of imagery of just something floating so serenely. Don't remember how to get rid of my UI, but there we go. So I think this is good enough to go retrograde and just burn. I've done a pretty good job of staying even on the orbit, but you can see that last burn actually put me a little off center along with the gravitational pull, so it's okay though. Just burn it. So it's there we go. Gotta account for the fact that the moon is a rotating body as well. So if we put this out here, this should put us somewhere over there, I hope. I hope. I don't really need the maneuver node anymore, so we'll see. Like I said, I could land out there in the flat parts. That's actually where I kind of did some of my first moon landing practices, but for now, It's just up to Bob. Oh, that's a really nice view of Kerbal. Kerbal's right there. See, I kind of got this shot before. There it is, F2. Is what we want. Got that shot before of approaching Minmus, but now I actually get the full screen. Kerbal on the horizon. Gonna be seeing the dark side of it. And yeah, we're just gonna start decelerating once we get a little bit closer, as now we are on a collision course.